Everything is falling apart again, but this time it feels different. The trailer doesn't just show chaos, it hides something darker underneath. A few seconds of silence, a strange look from Rue, and one small detail that almost everyone missed could completely change where this story is heading. If you think you understood the trailer on first watch, you probably didn't. Because episode 2 is not just continuing the story, it's setting up something much bigger. The trailer opens with a heavy and uncomfortable tone, and right away we can feel that Rue is not in a safe place anymore. There's a quiet tension in her expressions, like she's trying to hold everything together but failing at the same time. Even though we don't see anything extreme happening instantly, the way she moves, the way she looks around, and the way the scenes are cut together all suggest that she's slowly slipping back into a dangerous mindset. It's not loud or obvious, and that's what makes it more worrying. The show is clearly trying to tell us that her struggle is no longer just about addiction. It's now about control, identity, and whether she even wants to fight anymore. As the trailer continues, we start noticing how isolated Rue feels. She's surrounded by people, but still completely alone. This is shown through quick shots where others are talking, arguing, or reacting, but Rue seems disconnected from all of it. It's like she's present physically, but mentally somewhere else. That gap between her and everyone else is growing, and episode 2 might finally push her to a breaking point. The silence in some moments is louder than any dialogue, and it builds this feeling that something bad is about to happen, even if we don't know exactly what. Another important detail is how the lighting changes around Rue in different scenes. In some shots, everything feels darker and colder, almost like the world around her is closing in. In others, there's a harsh brightness that doesn't feel comforting at all. It feels exposing, like she can't hide anymore. These visual choices are not random. They reflect her emotional state, showing how unstable things have become. One moment she might seem okay, and the next, she's completely lost again. That unpredictability is what makes her storyline so intense. We also get a sense that Rue is being watched or judged, even if it's not directly shown. There are moments where she looks uneasy, like she knows something is off. This could mean that other characters are starting to notice her behavior again, or it could be something deeper, like she's becoming more aware of her own actions and the damage they're causing. Either way, it creates tension because it feels like she won't be able to hide for long. What makes this trailer powerful is how it doesn't give clear answers. Instead, it gives small pieces that slowly build a bigger picture. And that picture is not hopeful. It feels like episode 2 is going to push Rue into a place we haven't seen before. A place where she might stop caring about consequences completely. And if that happens, it could affect everyone around her in ways they're not ready for. By the end of this section, one thing becomes clear. Rue's story is no longer just about survival, it's about whether she's already too far gone to come back. And the trailer is quietly asking a question without saying it out loud. What happens when someone stops trying to save themselves? As the trailer moves forward, the tension between Cassie and Maddy starts to feel impossible to ignore, and this is where things begin to heat up in a very emotional way. There are no direct fight scenes shown clearly, but the way they look at each other says more than words ever could. Cassie's face carries a mix of fear and guilt, while Maddy's expressions feel sharp, controlled, and filled with anger that hasn't been released yet. It's not just about what happened before anymore, it's about everything that has been building up between them, and episode 2 looks ready to bring that to the surface in a way we haven't seen before. Cassie seems more unstable than ever, and the trailer gives us small hints that she's struggling to keep her emotions in check. There are moments where she looks like she's about to break down, but instead of letting it out, she holds it in, which only makes things worse. This kind of emotional pressure doesn't just disappear. It builds, and when it finally explodes, it can be messy and unpredictable. The way the scenes are cut suggests that Cassie might be reaching that breaking point very soon. She doesn't look confident or in control. Instead, she looks trapped in her own decisions, knowing that there's no easy way out. On the other side, Maddy feels completely different. She's not confused or emotional in the same way. She feels focused. There's a sense that she already knows what she wants, and she's just waiting for the right moment to act. Her silence in the trailer is powerful because it creates this feeling that something is coming. She's not reacting instantly, and that delay makes everything more intense. It's like she's holding back on purpose, building tension not just for Cassie, but for the audience too. And when someone like Maddy stays quiet for too long, it usually means the reaction, when it comes, will be strong. What makes this situation even more complicated is how other characters might get pulled into their conflict. The trailer hints at group settings where the energy feels awkward and uncomfortable, like everyone knows something is wrong, but no one wants to say it out loud. These shared spaces become dangerous because one small moment, one wrong word or look could turn everything into chaos. Episode 2 might use these moments to create sudden shifts, where calm scenes quickly turn into emotional confrontations. There's also a deeper layer to this tension that goes beyond just betrayal or drama. It's about identity and self-worth. Cassie seems to be losing her sense of who she is, trying to hold on to something that's already falling apart. Meanwhile, Maddy appears stronger on the outside, but there could still be pain underneath that she hasn't shown yet. The trailer doesn't fully reveal this, but it hints that both characters are dealing with more than just each other. They're dealing with themselves. Another detail that stands out is how the camera focuses on small reactions instead of big actions. A quick glance, a slight change in expression, a moment of hesitation. These are the things that tell the real story. The show is building tension in a slow and careful way, making sure that when the confrontation finally happens, it feels earned and intense. It's not rushing to the explosion, it's making us wait for it. By the time this part of the trailer ends, it becomes clear that Cassie and Maddy are heading toward a moment that will change their relationship completely. There's no going back to how things were, and episode 2 might be the point where everything finally breaks. Whether it turns into a direct confrontation or something even more unexpected, one thing is certain. The emotional impact is going to hit hard, and it's going to affect more than just the two of them. As the trailer continues, the focus slowly shifts toward Nate, and the energy around him feels quiet but dangerous at the same time. Unlike the emotional chaos we see with others, Nate's presence is controlled, almost too controlled, which makes it even more unsettling. He doesn't need to say much, because his actions and expressions already suggest that he's thinking several steps ahead. There are small moments in the trailer where he looks calm on the outside, but there's something hidden behind that calmness, like he's planning something that no one else fully understands yet. This is what makes his character so unpredictable. He doesn't react, he calculates. One of the most interesting details is how the trailer avoids showing any clear direction for Nate. Instead of giving us obvious clues, it presents him in short, disconnected scenes that feel intentional. In one moment, he seems distant and quiet, almost like he's pulling away from everything. In another, there's a slight shift in his expression that hints at control and dominance. This contrast creates confusion, but also builds curiosity because it's hard to tell whether he's trying to change or simply setting up his next move. And with Nate, even silence can be part of a strategy. There's also a strong sense that Nate is observing everything happening around him. While other characters are caught in emotional storms, he appears to be watching from a distance, taking in every detail. This gives him an advantage because he understands people's weaknesses and knows how to use them. The trailer subtly shows this through the way scenes are framed. He's often positioned in a way that makes him feel separate, like he's not fully part of the chaos, but still connected to it in a deeper way. This distance could mean that he's preparing to step in at the right moment, when everything is already unstable. Another layer to Nate's character in this trailer is the possibility of internal conflict. Even though he seems in control, there are brief moments where his expression changes in a way that feels uncertain. It's not obvious, and it's very easy to miss, but it's there. This could suggest that something is shifting inside him, or that he's dealing with pressure that hasn't been fully revealed yet. However, the show doesn't make this clear, which keeps the tension alive. Is he struggling with himself, or is this just another part of his manipulation? That question remains unanswered. The trailer also hints that Nate's actions might connect multiple storylines together. While other characters are dealing with their own issues, Nate feels like a central piece that could influence all of them. Whether it's through direct involvement or subtle interference, his presence creates a link between different conflicts. This makes his role in episode 2 even more important, because any move he makes could have a ripple effect on everyone else. And since he rarely acts without a reason, whatever he does next is likely to be significant. There's a noticeable shift in tone whenever Nate appears on screen. The atmosphere becomes heavier, more tense, almost like something is about to happen but hasn't yet. This kind of buildup is very intentional because it keeps the audience on edge. We're not shown the outcome, but we can feel that something is coming. It's like standing in a quiet room where you know a storm is about to break, but you don't know when or how. By the end of this section, it becomes clear that Nate is not just reacting to the events around him. He's shaping them in ways that aren't fully visible yet. The trailer doesn't give away his plan, but it strongly suggests that he's playing a bigger game. And if that's true, then episode 2 might reveal just how far he's willing to go to stay in control, even if it means pulling others deeper into chaos. As the trailer reaches its final moments, the overall tone becomes heavier and more intense, almost like everything is slowly closing in on the characters at the same time. Instead of focusing on just one storyline, these last scenes blend multiple emotions together: fear, confusion, anger, and silence, creating a feeling that something big is about to happen, even if we're not shown exactly what it is. This part of the trailer is less about clear events and more about the emotional weight that episode 2 is building toward. One of the most noticeable elements here is the use of space and distance. Characters are often shown alone, even when they are surrounded by others. This creates a strong sense of isolation, making it feel like everyone is dealing with their own problems without any real support. These visual choices suggest that the connections between characters are breaking down, or at least becoming weaker. When people stop understanding each other, conflicts don't just happen. They grow faster and become harder to control. Episode 2 seems ready to explore that idea deeply. There are also quick flashes of moments that feel important, but are not fully explained. A sudden movement, a tense pause, a look that lasts just a second too long. These are the kinds of details that the trailer uses to build mystery. It doesn't show full scenes. It shows pieces, and it's up to the viewer to connect them. This style keeps everything unpredictable because we don't know which moment will turn into something serious. It creates a sense of unease, where even a small interaction could lead to something much bigger. Another important detail is how the trailer plays, with sound and silence. There are moments where everything feels loud and chaotic, followed by sudden quiet scenes that feel almost uncomfortable. That shift is not random. It reflects the emotional ups and downs the characters are going through. Just when things seem like they might calm down, the tension returns even stronger. This pattern suggests that episode 2 will not follow a simple flow. Instead, it will move between calm and chaos in a way that keeps the audience constantly alert. The idea of consequences also becomes stronger in this part of the trailer. Earlier, we saw characters making choices or dealing with emotions, but now it feels like those choices are starting to come back to them. There's a sense that nothing can be ignored anymore. Whether it's relationships, secrets, or personal struggles, everything is slowly reaching a point where it has to be faced. This adds pressure to every character because there's no easy escape left. Episode 2 might be where those consequences finally start to show in a serious way. There's also a feeling that something unexpected could happen at any moment. The trailer avoids giving a clear direction, which makes it harder to predict what's coming next. Instead of building toward one obvious event, it spreads tension across multiple storylines, making all of them feel important. This approach keeps the audience guessing, because the biggest moment of the episode might not be where we expect it. It could come from a small detail, a sudden reaction, or a choice that changes everything instantly. As everything comes together in these final shots, the mood becomes almost overwhelming. It feels like the characters are standing on the edge of something they can't fully see yet. There's no clear resolution, no sense of relief, only the feeling that things are about to get worse before they get better. This kind of ending doesn't give answers. It raises more questions, pulling the audience deeper into the story. By the time the trailer ends, one thing becomes very clear. Episode 2 is not just continuing the story, it's pushing it into a more intense and unpredictable direction. Every character is moving closer to a moment that could change everything. And the trailer is carefully building that tension without revealing too much. It leaves us with a strong sense of anticipation because whatever happens next is not going to be simple, and it's definitely not going to be easy for anyone involved.